And it is time now for the title match as Norm Duke takes on Steve Hoskins. Duke, the youngest player ever when he was 18 years old to win a PBA championship back in Cleveland.
Buckeye Lanes, Cleveland, Ohio. Right now I watch Norm Duke warming up. And Norm, you better find something in a hurry against Steve Hoskins. He tried to play outside on this lane, decided to go back in, and there's the flat 10 to start the match out for Norm Duke.
Well, again, it's going to be interesting to see how Duke approaches this championship match and tackles this pair here, 33 and 34, 5'5", 34 years of age, 15 years. It's hard to believe out here on tour looking for number 15, his 15th title. Not a Hall of Famer yet, but I tell you what, he will be.
Yeah, wait till he turns 35. He's going to be a first-time vote. He'll be in it.
Picks up the 10-pin in the opening frame, and Steve Hoskins, 224 to move on in that semifinal match.
And it's Steve's tournament to win right now. He's the bowler who's lined up. He knows what needs to be done in order to strike on this pair. All that remains is just to execute for Steve. And Norm Duke is going to have to use all of his ability to figure out exactly what's necessary for him to start striking on lanes 33 and 4.
We have 5 300 games this week, 3 by 1 player. Dave Arnold, who made our telecast. Also Michael Haugen and Danny Wiseman, and Steve Hoskins defeated Norm Duke in that position round, 248 to 225. Up in the second frame, working on a strike. Hoskins from Tarpon Springs, Florida. Rip and see you later. Able to get it to finish on the back end and kick out that 10-pin.
And he knows when to get excited. The high backswing, the really firm lift with the wrist, and the great carry for Steve Hoskins. Believe me, he's excited.
Duke doesn't take much time when he's up on the approach.
He's stuck on the approach. Will it kick? Almost gets the kick of the 4-pin. Excuse me, Phil, for jumping on you like that, but
had some problems.
Well,
when he got near the foul line.
Watch his slide, or lack thereof. He sticks, and you can see him grimace. He looks away, really did not make a good shot. And when you don't slide, it's hard to make the good shot.
Able to pick up the single pin spare, so a couple of spares for Duke here to start this title match. Duke with a high game of 278 this week, low game of 170. And Hoskins with the early advantage.
Well, in Duke's last telecast, he bowled his worst game on television to date, a 156. I certainly don't look for Norm Duke to be bowling anything like that today or any time in the near future.
Another
he left the
4-pin.
10-pin on that lane in the first frame, makes the adjustment. Now he leaves the 4-pin.
Boy, Norm rolled 3 consecutive 300s at the Johnny Petraglia Open in '96, but the American Bowling Congress denied him a 900 series because they were in 2 different blocks. But that's still pretty impressive as he attempts to pick up the spare and does just that.
It was 900 as far as I was concerned, and any other pros.
There you have the past winners. Of course, Steve Hoskins trying to make it 2 in a row. Walter Ray Williams Jr. did just that in '96 and again, or '95 and '96. Norm Duke in '94 and Roger Barker in 1993.
To extend to a 22-pin lead after 3 frames.
Oh, yeah. Pick out that 7-pin in the first 3, and a nice payday on top of it should he throw a 300. He did that last year.
Well, he did. Watch the way the ball enters the pocket. It's going to come in just a little bit light, but it's so much strength on the ball. Knocks the 5 into the 7. It's time to get excited, eh, Steve?
Up in the 4th frame, he has the first 3. I believe $25,000 extra payday for that big 300 in the title match.
Well, he had the first 3 in a row last game, came up on the lane 33, left a solid 10. He's not thinking 300. He wants to win a tournament. Pocket 10 for Steve Hoskins. The string ends at 3. There will be no 300 game this year on our telecast. 21 pin lead for Steve Hoskins, and Norm Duke has got to be feeling just a little relieved that Steve has stopped striking.
Hoskins a spare in the fourth after starting the game off with a 3-bagger as Norm Duke now up in the fourth frame. The 1994 PBA Player of the Year. From the top seed, Norm is 3-4 with a .234 average in 7 appearances.
Better slide. Solid 10.
Looked like a better shot.
Much better shot, and somebody in the crowd, I think, just said it's all over, and I got news for you. It's far from being over. We're in the fourth frame of the title match. Steve Hoskins only 22 pins ahead of Norm Duke.
Duke really took control of this tournament in the third round. Picks up the 10-pin.
Duke really flattens the ball out when he shoots at his spares, more so than most any other player on our tour.
Well, Duke said that some of his goals include being inducted into the PBA Hall of Fame. That's a given. Win the Triple Crown, a little bit more difficult. However, he's won the Tournament of Champions. He did that in '94. And another big tournament he won, the '93 ABC Masters, as he has cashed in 14 of 19 tournaments.
Yeah, he's a big-time player.
Nice turn.
There's something good happened to Norm Duke. I was beginning to think he might have Tim Chris disease. All those pocket shots that Tim Chris threw in the last game and was not able to strike only just once. Norm Duke finally his first strike in the fifth frame.
Hoskins, his fourth TV appearance of 1998, won the AC Delco Classic in Lakewood, California earlier this year.
Well, fortunate, Steve. Just the 6-pin and the 10. This ball was not thrown well. I believe he might have elbowed the ball a little bit. Didn't get the proper projection. Fortunate not to have a wide open split. Still got to be a little careful. Don't want to chop the 6 off the 10 or throw it too far to the right.
And picks it up. And Hoskins fortunate also that his opponents, 2 opponents tonight, have thrown 12 9-counts out of 15 shots, so the last 15. So it really has been Steve Hoskins' night so far, but we're halfway through a 20-pin advantage.
Yeah, all the breaks have definitely gone Steve's way, but he's also made a lot of great shots, and he's got the power that affords him a wider pocket. And what I mean by a wider pocket, he can hit lighter in the pocket and strike than most any player on our tour. Solid 10. Norm Duke still in the match. With a spare here, Steve Hoskins 19 pins ahead, but Norm Duke has the opportunity to throw strikes in the 6th and 7th frames. Can change that into a 1-pin advantage for himself.
So Hoskins makes the spare in the 6th frame. And we've got quite a game, quite a title match here in the Greater Rochester Open. A 19-pin advantage by Steve Hoskins over Norm Duke. Back with tonight. Great crowd. Great crowds all week.
Well, this is the most important shot for Norm Duke. And he does not get it done. It comes in high. He knew how important it was to cut that deficit down to only 9 pins.
So Duke, he's had strikeitis. I mean, he's just had 1 strike down in the 5th frame. He holds the PBA scoring record for 6 games. Look at that, 1635, 18 games at nearly 4,700. Pretty good average on both ends as he picks up the spare.
And we've shown you 2 different ways to make those single-pin spares tonight. Most of the players opt to go to a different ball with less friction to go hard and straight. Norm Duke, he just throws the ball straighter with the hooking ball.